Siren is Kaisi Berick. He calls himself an audio frequency scientist who creates and produces music and video. He calls his very diverse musical style Epic Step, which is a fusion of metal, core, dubstep, and electro. He also plays rock, R&B, hip-hop, jazz, and even classical. He is the winner of numerous awards, including Global Music Awards in the alternative category, Best in Las Vegas, Music Producer of the Year, and Academia Music Awards, Best Pop Dance Song. He's nominated for 2 award categories with Hollywood Music and Media Awards, and also as LA Music Awards Pop Artist of the Year. Let's see now a video. Turnkey Tyranny, the Siren, right now.
The NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone. It ingests them by default. It collects them in its system, and it filters them, and it analyzes them, and it measures them, and it stores them for periods of time. Any analyst at any time can target anyone. They're getting everyone's calls, everyone's call records, and everyone's internet traffic as well. The NSA lied about the existence of this tool in order to create a certain mindset in the global consciousness. The structures of power that exist are working to their own ends to extend their capability at the expense of the freedom of all publics. That's the world that you helped create, and it's going to get worse with the next generation and the next generation who extend the capabilities of this sort of architecture of oppression. I think that the public is owed an explanation when you are subverting the power of government. That's a fundamentally dangerous thing to democracy.
Siren.
was when it wants to benefit from a secret action that it took. Government is going to grant themselves powers unilaterally to create greater control over American society and global society. This is something that's not our place to decide. The public needs to decide whether these programs and policies are right or wrong. That's not something I'm willing to support. It's not something I'm willing to build, and it's not something I'm willing to live under. So I think anyone who opposes that sort of world has an obligation to act in the way they can. This is the truth. This is what's happening. You should decide whether we need to be doing this. And no one is really standing to stop it. And there will be nothing that people can do at that point to oppose it. And it'll be turnkey tyranny. Stand up and fight to change things.
Kaisi, wow. Thanks for coming on the Nowman Show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Loved seeing Edward Snowden in that.
Right? That's actually the first time ever in history that he was put into music like that.
Oh, really? That's very cool.
It's probably been done again now, but at the time.
At the time. Now, when did you make that?
That was, I think, back in like 2010, 2011. Yeah, something like that. Because that album came out at 2012, but then I had to wait a little bit till the beginning, I think, of 2013. But I had a lot of the material already done, you know, for a while before I released it.
And we'll talk about your live thing a little bit later on. First of all, I always like to go back to where you started. When did you first get into music?
When I was a little kid, my dad, phenomenal guitarist. One of the best I've ever seen, like in the flesh. Yeah. So awesome. And he had like 40 guitars and walls of amps, and he was playing all over the place, opening up for great bands like Winger, Noisy Mama, Guns N' Roses, and all kinds of those guys from back then. And I grew up at his shows, going to his shows as a little kid. So I always had guitars to play on and little keyboards to play on and stuff. So I just kind of grew up with it and learned as I went along.
Excellent. So you grew up in Youngstown, Ohio.
That's it.
Yeah.
The yo.
I'm constantly meeting people from the part of the country where I was born also and raised. So yeah, I understand. So you played initially the keyboard first or the guitar first, or what? How did
both.
That work?
Yeah, I just had like one of those little, like Casio, old school little 80s keyboards. You know, nothing special. I would just like play that when I was a little kid, just mess with it. And like I said, my dad had all his guitars, so I would always just mess with his guitars.
Now you're really into a lot of different things with tuning. Now you call it the 432 hertz?
432 hertz frequency. That's where the concert A is set to, instead of the standard now, which is 440 hertz, which was something that was recently put in motion, you know, within the last century. Before that, though, all throughout history and ancient civilizations, their instruments, everything has been found to have 432 hertz as the A. And what this does is, when it's 440, all the other notes and all the other chords and notes and everything, they're not a perfect mathematical number. There will be decimals and all these strange numbers, right? So with 432, every number, every note in the scale is another perfect number. So it's a mathematically perfect number based on a formula of Golden Phi and Fibonacci. And this number,
I know Fibonacci.
There it is right now.
Yeah.
This number is found everywhere in the universe and the human body. And just a quick, so people understand, when you listen to this tuning, it's said to help repair DNA. And sound therapy is a huge part of, like, on a subliminal level, you know, what I'm doing here.
Spirit science,
well,
would you say? Or
let's just say the Schumann resonance was discovered earlier in the 19th century and 20th century, and 8 hertz about 8 hertz is what the human brain pulsates at, like gives off this frequency. And that's also the same frequency that the planet gives off. It's been calculated to be like 7.83, 7.86, up to 8. Our instruments, it's always around 8. And that number, that 8 hertz number, is part of the 432. And if you take the sun, the diameter of our sun is 864,000, and all you have to do is take 432 and you multiply it by 2, and it equals 864, and just add the zeros. The moon is 2,160 miles in diameter, and you take 432 and you divide it by 2, and it equals 216. Just add 1 0 onto it, there it is.
Wow.
So the precession of the equinox, 432 times 60. That equals 25,920. That's precession of the equinox. So this number is everywhere, all throughout the universe. Even the speed of light, 432 times 432 is 186,624. And that is right there at the speed of light, what our instruments can measure it at. So
music really,
it's everywhere.
Really is part of our life as well as our livelihood.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, let's talk some more. First, let's watch another video. This is a new one, right?
Yeah, this will be coming out pretty soon.
And it's called Ride.
Yep.
This is Ride with the Siren.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Take cover now.
Whoa. When I see those tornadoes, I think of, Tornado Alley, because I lived, not only in Ohio and Indiana, but Oklahoma, and that's the whole Tornado Alley there.
Yeah, fantastic area.
What's the short story of how you got that footage? That's pretty incredible.
I traveled across the country when I was relocating to LA, and we went through some supercells and some tornado storms, and the craziest strobe lightning thing I ever experienced in my life, and felt like I fell into another dimension. And we ended up finding out about the footage from the storm chasers in the area that actually did catch the funnels and the touchdowns and all that stuff. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I want this footage. I'm going to make something out of it. And they were like, yeah, whatever. It's educational purposes anyways. So
excellent.
Great.
Yeah, it has a personal connection into something.
And that's what the Siren
experienced. Yeah, that
like
makes it better.
What inspired the name the Siren was growing up in Ohio.
Yeah.
All the time hearing the sirens going off because there's tornado warnings and stuff like that. It was like, as a kid, that was traumatic.
Yeah.
Now I'm obsessed with it and I love it, and I want to go storm chasing for fun.
Oh, you do?
As like
you actually want to do that?
Yeah, like as a vacation. I want to go right up to one of these things.
Well, what you probably ought to do is go to. We can talk about that later. But the National Storm Center is at the University of Oklahoma, because I know I lived there. So the story of the Siren basically is when you got Epic Step is the name of your style. So what does that consist of?
Right.
I mean,
that was actually my little brother. He came up with that because
your little brother did.
Yeah, he's a genius bass player, and he went to Berkeley, and I mean he plays Mozart on the bass. He's phenomenal. He's an awesome guy. So we used to jam all the time and whatever, and I showed him some new material I had been working on years ago, and I was like, check this stuff out, and he's like, whoa, that's crazy. There's so much stuff going on in there. There's like so many different genres, and I was like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, it's like pretty epic, man. I was like, right? Yeah, it is epic. And he's like, yeah. And there's dubstep in there, and he's just like, he just said epic step, and I was like, that's it. That's perfect. It's because it's got like pop and classical and dubstep and like all these things, and I was like, it's just epic. It's just like it's a cinematic thing. It's what it's about.
Because you grew up in that part of the country, you're inspired by all these different styles of music. I mean,
yep.
I heard. Did you ever listen to? Well, they were probably wasn't AM when you were growing up, but I had CKLW in Detroit, Windsor. And so, we grew up with a lot of different music.
Yeah,
Cleveland,
I had
and
exactly.
Joe Walsh, Devo is from the area, Chrissie Hynde, the Pretenders.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson's from the area.
That's
Tool.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of great artists from that same area. And my dad inspired me on the whole 80s and hair metal and rock metal and all that.
Yeah.
And then I had like people in the neighborhood with the hip hop world, and we used to always freestyle and things like that. So.
Now you got some shows coming up too, right?
Yeah. November 8th is the Producer's Choice Honors Awards at the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, and I'll be getting an award there and performing. It's gonna be great. And November 16th is the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, and I'm nominated there also.
Yeah, we talked about that in the intro. That's very impressive. Great work, by the way. And also, too, when people learn about your music, what's your website? Where can they go hear you?
Everything
online?
is all What Is the Siren? So whatisthesiren.com.
That's the source.
At What Is the Siren? Yeah, that's it.
Now you're going to stick around, right, for panel discussion, and we can go
Absolutely.
into some political stuff and what where your views are in activism and all that kind of stuff. Now you also are associated with Free and Equal, Christina Tobin.
Yep. Yeah, I'm one of the producers of that project that helped coordinate all the live events and the stages, and I perform there every year.
That's awesome. So, so what we're going to do in the panel discussion, we're going to get into more of our political ideas. And but it's great to have you on the show, Kaisi. Thank you so much for sharing your music. And
yeah, man, you're awesome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually have some live music here in the studio with the Siren. And the name of this song, it's a brand new song, right?
Yeah, this will be a new single coming out, yeah.
And it's called Die With Me. Until next time, this is Niswander, and you are watching the Nowman Show. Be present always.
Hello, this is Niswander. I'm here at the Music Awards at the Hard Rock with the Siren, Kaisi Berick. It's great to see you again, Kaisi. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling fantastic, and I love seeing you, man, every time. Great energy.
Thank you. It's always great to see you. I can't wait to see your performance tonight. And what's the presentation? What's the honor tonight that's being given to you?
So we performed in Las Vegas for one of these events, and they were so happy with what we brought to the table that they said they wanted to honor us for our live performance and have us do it again here. So it's like an award for, I guess, for our live performance aspect of everything.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, it's great to be honored. I understand how that is. What's next for you? Of course, you know, you're going to be coming up soon on the Nowman Show. What else is coming up with the Siren? What's new?
Yeah, I love the Nowman Show, and it's socially conscious shows and events like that really drive me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. So the next thing coming up is I'm shooting some music videos right now for some singles coming out on Kiss FM later this year, or well, next year, in a few months from now. So that's going to be a big deal for me. I've been working towards that for a lot of years, and yeah, that's it. Radio release coming up soon. So
fantastic. So where can people learn more about your music? I know we've talked about that before, but you can always repeat it as much as you want.
All right, it's whatisthesiren.com.